Nina Turner said something that was very, very impactful. How identity is weaponized against particularly black men by the Democratic Party. And a lot of people are looking at, you ain't black if you don't vote for Kamala Harris. That's what they might as well be saying to us, is that you aren't black if you don't support Kamala Harris and her policies. And that's a major problem because we've been talking about this identity politics thing. And nobody minds utilizing your identity to say, hey, I'm going to elevate you, but not at the expense of someone else, not at the demonization or weaponization of it against you.
Democrats use it in a way that alienates other folks, and it offends me. So when I talk to black men across this country, they don't see themselves in this party. It's one thing to recognize the power and prowess of black women and the sacrifices that we make. It is another thing to put us above black men. The black struggle, black men and black women have to be together. We don't have the luxury to be separated, and so I resent the Democratic Party for doing that.
We support black women. Of course, I support black women. I support Kamala Harris as a black woman. I support her as a woman with her own agency. I just don't support her becoming president. And many people can't make that determination of, well, if you're not supporting Kamala Harris and you're supporting Donald Trump or some other candidate, that means that I have an issue with black women. And I don't have an issue with black women. What I have an issue with is the Democratic Party. What I have an issue with is when our people utilize a private organization known as the Democratic Party, as the Democratic National Convention or National Committee, when a private organization that controls a political party that all these people say that they're part of, you're part of the Democratic Party, even though it's controlled by a private organization that controls your politics. And it's complex because we identify literally with identity, meaning that we find relation and relationship based upon our identity. And when you are demonized because you are supportive of Donald Trump and his policies, then the first thing that they do is they attack your identity and they say, oh, how could you as a black man be supportive of Donald Trump? Or how can you as a black man not be supportive of the Democratic Party? And when you start giving reasons of why you're not supportive of the Democratic Party.
The Democratic Party emasculates black men. Wow. And I think Hispanic men probably feel the same way. And I say this because they weaponize identity. When and where we enter, who we are, how we identify is important to who we are, just like our fingerprints. Democrats use it in a way that alienates other folks, and it offends me. So when I talk to black men across this country, they don't see themselves in this party. And so what the Democratic Party does, they put black women on a pedestal and they say, we're the mothers of the movement, or we saved the party. But yet you don't put forth policies that save black babies. You don't put forth policies that deal with the maternal death rate of black women and black babies in the United States of America. You don't do those things that lift and edify. Yes, identity is important, but if you're not going to use my identity to advance a social justice cause, and you're just going to use my identity as a blunt force object, now I got a problem.
The Democratic Party has taken advantage of black people's votes and will always promise something or say, hey, if you elect us, we're going to do this, we're going to pass this policy agenda. But they don't. And they literally have the power to do that right now. However, they don't. And they won't. Look, you ain't got to explain nothing to anybody about why you're voting for a particular person, who you're voting for. There's a reason why there's a secret ballot. There's a reason why that is private. Because you're going to have your reasons for voting for whoever. What I want us to understand is that our political system is not owned by you. Just because you are a member of the Democratic Party does not make you a shareholder of the Democratic National Committee. Okay? Does not make you a shareholder in that private organization that controls the public politics of America. All you are just a marketer when it comes down to it. And this is how private organizations who appear to be public organizations take over our government, take over our politics, take over our nation. We wonder why these large companies are able to influence policy the way that they do, and it's because it is literally a business to business transaction when it's done through the Democratic National Committee and the Republican National Committee. These are private organizations that have their own rules, that are following public election laws. We just need to become more informed and more involved citizens. Point blank, period.